As for the bottom, it's not a sight Chelsea fans are used to at all. The Blues' awful campaign has them in 12th place, 36 points behind Arsenal, who they visit today. Further down in 17th, it's Leeds above the relegation zone on goal difference alone. They parted ways with their director of football this morning. For more on both of these clubs in crisis, let's bring in our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. David, let's begin with Chelsea as the club continues its search for its next permanent manager. What's the latest?
That search, Paul, is said to be thorough and exhaustive. Chelsea promised that at the beginning, and now we're seeing it in action. Mauricio Pochettino, formerly of Tottenham and Paris Saint-Germain, remains the firm favourite for this position, and the expectation is that he will get it. But he is not the only candidate. We know how highly Chelsea think of Vincent Kompany, and another unnamed candidate who we still haven't brought to the public light yet, and maybe that's the way that Chelsea want it. They will have given consideration to others too, but I think those three are the ones that are the focus of their attention right now, and in particular Pochettino. Now, Chelsea could speed up this process if they wanted to. I would expect it to be done by the end of the season, and that would give the new man the pre-season that they will want, the summer transfer market, and proper time to get this right. They want it to be right and not quick, and that means they need to do proper due diligence. All of their checks on all of their candidates, start planning and make sure they nail this. Now, one of the key aspects in all of this is that it's being led by Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, the sporting directors. They'll be deferring into the owners, and the owners know that after what happened with Thomas Tuchel and what happened with Graham Potter, they won't want to get this wrong, because then attention will fall upon them. They may refer to the Tottenham process. Antonio Conte was relieved of his duties at Spurs before Graham Potter was sacked by Chelsea, and they are also in a process now that hasn't come to a conclusion. So they're taking their time ahead of what's going to be a critical summer. They will want to be learning from their mistakes and not rush into this. That summer is going to see a number of outgoings. That's a real big thing at Chelsea this summer. We could see a lot of players depart because they've got a bloated squad of 32 players. There will also be some incomings. They've got big decisions over the likes of Mason Mount, Romelu Lukaku. And this is a Chelsea project that they want to get back on track to meet their expectations, and right now it's not there. So all eyes will be on the managerial process, but it's not at a conclusion just yet.
A lot of eyes, David, also focused on Leeds. There are a lot of credible reports out there that they will make a managerial change to Sam Allardyce. What can you share?
Sam Allardyce is going to be coming in as the new Leeds manager on an interim basis. It's all about interims this season, isn't it? He's going to be in charge for the final 4 games, and what a 4 games they are. They're in crisis, as you said at the top of the show, and they've turned to the fireman, Sam himself. He's done it at the likes of Sunderland and Crystal Palace. He didn't do it in his last job at West Bromwich Albion in 2021, but that was his only aberration. He's never suffered a Premier League relegation other than that. There's a big bounty on this too. £500,000 is being reported as his basic salary, with suggestions of £2.5 million on top of that if he keeps Leeds United in the Premier League. We're hearing suggestions that Carl Robinson will come in as one of his assistants, and he would have also liked Sammy Lee as well, but unbelievably he's doing jury service, so he won't be able to come in by the looks of it. And I think they would like Sam Allardyce to be announced pretty soon so that he can lead training at Thorpe Arch tomorrow, and that will of course see Javi Gracia depart after just 2.5 months. I think in Allardyce they see a real motivator, somebody that can galvanise this squad, whereas they didn't see that in Gracia, even though he was a good coach on the training ground. And it comes on the same day that Victor Orta, their director of football, has departed. A project that started in 2017. It's had highs and lows, but it is now over. And he wanted Javi Gracia to be given longer. He wanted Jesse Marsh to be given longer because that was his pick as well. But the Leeds hierarchy, in particular their owner, majority shareholder Andrea Radrizzani, disagreed with that. And he's the man that's really driven these events, because there's a lot more at stake as well. Leeds cannot afford to go down into the Championship, because if they stay up, then they're going to be subject to a full takeover by 49ers Enterprises, which would see a lot of money be injected into the club. It would also see a lot of work done to the stadium that the 49ers are planning as well. They've been building their investment in the club, and this summer is critical. But that full takeover will not go through unless Leeds are in the Premier League. If they are in the Premier League, then it will go through on July the 1st, and that is why they are bringing Sam Allardyce in at great expense, because they cannot afford to go down.
David Ornstein, thank you. So Sam Allardyce would have one task for Leeds in the final 4 matches. That is keep the club in the Premier League. Over 500 games managed in the league. And as David just said, he's no stranger to keeping teams up, having done so with Blackburn, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, and also Everton. His only Premier League relegation came his last time in charge. That was with West Brom 2 years ago. And welcome inside the studio, Paul Burmeister, alongside Robbie Earl and also Robbie Musto. So, guys, a lot of layers here to sort through with Leeds. Let's begin there. If the reports are true, and David just said he believes that they are, and they have parted ways, or they will part ways with Javi Gracia, what do you think of that decision?
God, I could write a book on Leeds United over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Obviously, it's an act of desperation, but given the way that Gracia's looked lost, by the way, in his last few press conferences. The results have been shocking. He lost on Sunday 4-1 to Bournemouth, a team that was also down there. I kind of get it, and I don't mind it. I think when you're desperate for this club, and we heard all the reasons from David there with takeovers, etc., there's so much riding on this. Maybe more so than even for the average side that wants to stay in the Premier League for Leeds United. I get it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he hasn't been in such a short-term project of 4 games, Paul. 4 games to try and motivate, organise, you know, the things that he goes through. We're going to see it all again. He's going to try and park the bus. He's going to defend. And to be fair, there is some pacey young forwards that might nick him a goal to get some results. If he can get positive results, and he's got to get a win somewhere in 2 of the last 4, then they might just do it. But this is going to be difficult.
So if Sam Allardyce is the guy, is he the right guy for the job?
He is. The heat's turned up at Leeds. Who would you call on speed dial? Fireman Sam. David talked about it. And why do you call him fireman? Because he does a job at this kind of time where he goes in with processes, been there, done it, got the T-shirts, plural, and will work with the players. He's a good man manager. He'll get a connection with the players. If he keeps Leeds up this time around, I've got to tell you, he should be in the Hall of Fame inductees. I mean, winning titles is one thing. Keeping teams in the Premier League is just as important. And I guarantee you what Sam will go in and work on defence. Clean sheets. Leeds have only had 5 all season. He wants clean sheets, and he's got 2 kind of very old-school methods. And me and Musty saw Sam... May 2017, he was at Crystal Palace, who were in trouble. And he talked about what he goes in. The old rope trick. The rope trick is get the back 4. We all have a piece of rope between us and we hold it. And when I go this way, it pulls all of us that way. Together, and we all move together. Synchronisation. And then the advertising boards around the pitch. So you get defenders say, well, where do we push up to? I'll tell you where we push up to. We push up to Barclays. We go to the Barclays hoarding and we hold our space.
It's digital now, mate. It's all digital boards now.
We hope it doesn't turn or Sam's got a problem. And then if we need to drop off, we drop off to EA Sports, and that's the space we hold. He'll give basic, important defensive discipline and a responsibility to the team that Leeds haven't had. Can he do it in time? That's what we will see. Can he make this happen quickly? But he will go in with processes and he will try and stop the goals going in.
The task seems so difficult because you mentioned the 4 matches. The first 2, Manchester City,
we see them.
Newcastle United, first-place team. Third-place team.
I mean, when you look at it, you think, well, he's not even in the bottom 3 right now, Sam. This shouldn't be too difficult, but because of those remaining games, you know, Man City away, you've got to assume nothing. Newcastle at home, can they grind away and park the bus to get something? But West Ham away and Tottenham at home, there's his little chance. Of course, that gives more time, Rob, for his methods to be ingrained in the players, ready for those last 2 games. If there's a win and a draw, that's 34 points. Now, they have got a better goal difference than Nottingham Forest, and 34 might squeeze them to safety.
A lot of good analysis there. I'm looking for a yes or a no. Do they stay up?
No.
A no?
Better chance. But no.
Even with the rope trick?
Even with the rope trick. And the boards. The boards are important.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.